Hello and welcome to the first of many new figure reveal videos for the 3D printing Doctor Who project. I plan to start doing these shorter little videos on a more regular basis that focus on just one figure at a time, rather than the longer videos I was doing before, which took so long to produce that they ended up being out of date before I even released them. And as always, you can download this and over 100 other Doctor Who figures and props for free on the 3dprintingdoctorwho.com website, so please give us a visit. And some of these figure reveals that I'll be doing will be older figures that I've gone back to and done some redesign work on or updated for next generation resin printers. And some, like the one I'm about to show you here in a minute, will be brand new additions to the lineup. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the very latest figure in our lineup, number 36, which is going to be Agador. Ta-da! Yes, it's Aggedor as seen in the 1972 and 1974 serials The Curse of Peladon and Monster of Peladon. And I don't mind saying that this is one of the best figures I've built so far. The detail work is absolutely perfect. You'd be really hard-pressed to tell this one apart from an official character options figure. This is just one of those situations where having access to a resin printer really makes all the difference. So first off, let me show you the articulation. We've got fairly close to character option style movement here. We've got a new knee design that only moves in one direction, like the official figures. Hips move, waist move. We've got arm movement here. I did elect to pose him in more of a arms raised attacking pattern. In general, that's how he was in the episodes. You didn't see too much of Agador, actually. He's only in a few seconds of actual footage, and most of it is pretty dark and blurry. It took me a really long time to actually find good source photos from him. There wasn't a lot of behind the scenes or production photos to go from, but I found some rather nice black and white ones that showed the costume in pretty high detail. And lots of little tiny details, like you can see just the little tiny ridge that goes up the very center of his chest here. He's got a little tiny tail. And of course, let's see, we've got the slightly movable jaw. It doesn't move very much, but just enough. And of course, he's in scale with the standard Pertwee figure. And there we go. So painting on this one is pretty simple. His body, most of his head, is a dark brown bear color. But the fleshy parts of his face and the pads on his paws are a darker coffee brown color. His horns and his teeth are kind of an ivory color, and his tongue is a dark red. So you can basically paint this guy just with 4 different colors, and it's a pretty simple job. I'm not the greatest painter, but I think I did a pretty good job on this figure. Also, though, his eyes in the transmitted episode are actually yellow with tiny little black pupils. They're so hard to see, though. I just kind of went with the little yellow dots that are slightly easier to see here. And that's more what they look like in the transmitted episode. So there we go. Joint design. This follows my pretty standard design where it makes use of 1.5 millimeter brass rods that you basically just have to trim to length, and then you put in from the back, and then you cover up the holes with a little bit of craft resin or a little bit of milliput, or even just paint works fine. And you can basically hardly see them once they're covered. And so you use those for the shoulder and the knee designs. Everything else is basically kind of snapped together. It's got a bit of a clamshell there. You can see the lines a little bit more distinctly there. I didn't actually fill this in the way I originally intended to. But there you go. So that's it for Agador. I hope to be showing off several more figures in the coming weeks. But in the meantime, if you want to check out and see what I'm currently working on, or other designs I've worked on in the past, please visit us at 3dprintingdoctorwho.com or on Facebook.
Clock leader Sheena tearing at Sharoon, Haroon, Haroon.